What's up, you guys? It's your boy Sharon, the shaman that 36 got. Okay, check this out real quick. So tonight we got a lot to talk about, okay? This is gonna be one of the greatest I've ever done, straight up. So, after my last post where we're talking about improving how Jesus is Lucifer and Lucifer is Jesus, a lot of religious people, surprisingly to me too, were upset, okay? And there's one lady in particular, she was just so mad, she started calling me all sorts of gays and this and that. And it stopped and it made me think for a second. Is there any gay stuff in the Bible? Listen, was Jesus maybe gay? Is there any sus stuff going on in this book? So I want to take a look, see. What I found, there's a lot of information that we're about to go through today. Just before I even begin this right here, I want to go ahead and say this real quick. First off, the church has been a devastation to the homosexual, gay, trans, binary, whatever movement that's been going on. They've murdered and killed and hurt a lot of people. All just aside, they've killed a lot of people, and that's not right. No one deserves from their sexual preference to be hurt or anything like that. I actually believe in gay marriage, gay rights, gay everything. I'm all for it. 36 God, I'm all for that right there. A lot of my friends, a lot of my family, well, not really my family, but a lot of my friends, I know a lot of great people and whatnot, so I really feel like this right here, should open up some doorways for a lot of people. Okay, let's dive straight into it. Okay, now, do you guys know what a eunuch is? Do you guys know what a eunuch is? A eunuch is a castrated male or a feminine male. A feminine male. You know what a feminine male is? Hey, a feminine male, okay? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so, I want to read this real quick because in the book of Matthew, this has never been spoken by a pastor. I've never seen them speak on this before, ever a day in my life. Okay, but let's go to Matthew chapter 11, or chapter 19, verse 11 through 12. Reading King James Version, you guys can read with me if you like. Let's go ahead and start. It says, "But he said unto them, all men cannot receive this saying." Not everybody's going to want to understand what I'm about to say to you right here. "Save they whom it is given, except for those who are taught this information," which I'm about to do for you guys right now. All right. Verse 12. "For there are some eunuchs which are born this way from their mother's womb." Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did Jesus just say there are gay people who are born gay? Let's read it again. Matthew 19:12 says, "For there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb this way." Some eunuchs, some gay people were born that way. Oh my God. Boo. Let's keep reading. "And there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs by men. And there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it." Oh my God. Oh my God. Check this out, y'all. I want you to understand something. This is the first scripture that we read over today. We got so much more. But he just literally said, there are people who are born gay. But Sharon, that does not, okay, so what? God is love. It doesn't mean that Jesus is gay, okay? Jesus is gay. Come on, Sharon. It's not like Jesus had some guy laying on his nipple and looking into his eyes, calling him master or something like that. What? No way, right? That's not happening, Turn to John chapter 13, verse 23. Let's take a look at the only one that Jesus loved. The one who Jesus loved the most, John. Let's just take a look at this real quick. Chapter 13, verse 23. Let's just go in here real quick and see what it has to say, because can't be no sus stuff going on, man. Can't be no sus stuff going on. Let's just look real quick. And it says right here, it says, now there was leaning on Jesus's bosom. So someone leaning on his titty, okay? One of his disciples whom Jesus loved. So there's a grown man laying on your chest while you're petting his hair. Okay, let's keep going. Simon Peter therefore beckoned unto him that he should ask, who is it, that he should ask whom it should be of whom he spake. Check this out. And then lying on Jesus's breast, saith unto him, Master, who is it? Wait a minute, y'all. I want y'all to picture this in your mind, okay? So you're let's just say you're a guy, and this is your bro, your homeboy. You telling me, you're gonna have your grown man homeboy laying on your chest while you're just rubbing his hair, and then your grown man homeboy who's right here on your chest right here looks up to you, looks in your eyes, and you look down into his eyes, and he says, Master, who is it? Y'all better get play. This is in the book. This is in the book. I didn't add no words to this right here. This is in the book, y'all. This is in the word of God. Oh my. Okay? Well, it's another one. Okay? Let's just keep going, though, okay? Because I want you guys to understand something. There's a lot of suspect stuff that's going on in this book right here, okay? But it's like when you think about, Jesus from the lineage of David, they say like this. They say if you're born gay, then someone in your family line has to be gay. So, it makes sense for Jesus to be gay. If maybe, since he's of the lineage of David was gay, but David ain't never do no gay stuff, okay? No. Or turn to 1 Samuel, verse 18, verse 3. Chapter 18, verse 3. Let's go to 1 Samuel. Let's slide over there real quick. Because, it's not like King David. Not King David. Not King David, would do no such stuff or whatnot. Let's go, though, to 1 Samuel, chapter 18. Let's go ahead and we'll just start with 3. Let's go to 3 real quick. Matter of fact, let's just start from verse 1. And it came to pass, okay, it says, and it came to pass when he made an end of speaking unto Saul, that wait. Before I even keep going quick, I just want to ask you guys a question real quick. Do y'all know what a soul tie is? Do y'all know what a soul tie is? I want you guys to write in the comments what a soul tie is. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now, for those of you guys who don't know, a soul tie is if I have sex with a bunch of women, and I ejaculate in these women, okay? Let's be adults. If I ejaculate in these women, I get a soul tie. My soul ties to their soul. And the same is that way. If I was to be inside of a man and I were to ejaculate in that man would become a soul tie, a knot, the soul tie. Let's keep reading real quick. All right, so now, where is that? Verse 1, it says, and it came to pass when he had made an end of speaking unto Saul, that the soul as soon as when he ended speaking with Saul, so what was going on with Saul? But let's keep going. That the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, knit together. Ha 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 ha. The soul of Jonathan, after he finished with Samuel, with Saul, okay, after he finished with Saul, then him and Jonathan's soul was knit together. Okay? I'm just reading the book. And Jonathan loved him as his own soul. That's what it says. And Saul took him that day and would let him go no more home to his father's house. So he took him that day, would let him go no more home. You can't go back to your father's house now. Okay, you can't go back now. Let's keep reading. Though. Then Jonathan and David made a covenant. What is this covenant that these guys are making? You know, what's going on here? Because he loved him as his own soul. Okay, Brokeback Bible. Okay, let's keep reading real quick. You know, on the verse 4 it says, and Jonathan stripped himself of his robe that was upon him, and he gave it to David, his garments, and to even his sword, and to his bow and his girdle, the things that is covering his nuts. Okay, he took it all off. Okay, he stripped for David. Okay, this is in the Bible. I want you to understand something, y'all. This is in the Bible. Yet so many of you guys will preach so much hatred upon gay people. Preach so much hatred, condemning people to this fake hell of yours. You know, and I don't blame a lot of you guys, because, you know, it's because of what you guys are a part of, which is this religious belief, and the ones who are leading you, you know, they hate women themselves. Like, let's take, for instance, Paul. Okay, Paul, for instance. Paul hates women. If you look up Paul's beloved on Google, just type in Paul's beloved, type in how many times, who all was Paul's beloved, you're only going to see men. Paul beloved every Tom, Dick, and Harry that walked down the street, but did not love no women. Not one. Matter of fact, Paul hated women. You know, he thought they were stupid. You know, you don't believe me? Okay, let's go to 1 Timothy. Go to 1 Tim. Okay, let's go to chapter 2. Let's go to verse 11. Okay, let's look at let's go to verse 11. It says, "Let the women learn in silence with all subjection." Okay, it says, but I suffer not, I do not permit a woman to teach or have authority over a man, but she is to be silent. So that means for you women who are managers, district managers, running this corporation, running your business or whatnot, and you have men underneath you, you are in sin. Because like Paul says, you're just a stupid woman. You need to be silent. You can't speak. You have no rights, silly girl. You're supposed to be in the kitchen, cook and clean and wash my boxers, okay? That's all you're allowed to do. But when it comes to thought, when it comes to thought, no, not women. They're dumb, okay? I much rather be with the boys, okay? I much rather be with Timothy, okay? This is your Paul, okay? This is your Paul that y'all are following. This is him, you know? And it's a very sad thing, because we're going into this age of Aquarius. With us going into this age of Aquarius, it's going to be so much feminine energy. That's why, you know, the LGBTQ communities are making so much rage right now and doing all the things that they're doing at this time and whatnot with so much power in their movement, you know, because there's a lot of feminine energy being pushed at this time through the age of Aquarius. You know, but Paul can talk as much as he wants to talk. Paul's going to talk a lot or whatnot. But I just find it very interesting that Paul, you know, Paul was, if we look at, let's say, for instance, let's go over here, slide over here to Philemon. Let's go to Philemon. There's only one chapter in the book of Philemon, but, you know, I just want to see, you know, what he had to say about this person right here. Chapter 1. Let's go over ahead and go to verse 16. And he says, now, not now as a servant, but above as a servant, a brother beloved, especially to me. Of course, he was especially loved to you. I bet he was, okay? And then he continues on to say, but how much more unto thee, both I loved him in the flesh and in the Lord. So you love this person in the flesh, but check this out. Okay, Sarah, but you know, Paul would never do no gay stuff, okay? Paul was the one that was teaching us, and he, you know, since he's such a great teacher, you know, he would never actually be doing what he said not to do, okay? No, not Paul. He would never do the things he told all of us not to do, you know? That's crazy, yeah, no? Well, let's turn to Romans real quick. Okay, let's go ahead and go to Romans. Let's look at chapter 7. Okay, chapter 7, let's look at verse 15. Wow, okay. So now I just want to go ahead and read this to you guys. I'm going to go to verse 14. He says, for we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal. Sold under sin. Okay, check this out. He says, I am, you know what carnal is? Carnal is that sexual nature, that sexual energy. You know, he's trying so hard to suppress his sexual desires. For Timothy, okay, he's trying so hard to suppress it, but check out what he says in verse 15. He says, for that which I do, I allow not. So he just said, what I tell you guys not to do, I do that shit. He said, for what I would, that I do not. But what I hate, that I do. So you mean to tell me this mother beep is over here telling all of us, don't do this, don't do that. It's sin to do this, it's sin to do that. But I'm actually really doing it. This is y'all guy. Paul, this is y'all guy. Wrote the majority of the New Testament. This is y'all guy. A hypocrite. Just like all these religious people who's about to be underneath these comments writing about how, oh no, that's not it, blah, blah, blah. You're gonna go to hell, shaman, which doesn't even exist. All these people are gonna be saying, that there's hell's fire coming for all of us. But yet in their secret time, in the night, when they pick that phone up, when they make that phone call, when they watch that porn site, xnxx.com, tastyblacks.com, pornhub.com, when they go to them sites, you know, that they don't want you to know about and just erase their browser history. That which I condemn you for, I do. No wonder why there are all these pastors and priests that are raping and molesting and doing all this foul stuff. And then on Sunday coming and preaching at you. Their leader just said that they do. Their leader just said that they're a hypocrite. You know, it's just wrong. It's just a lot of wrong here. It's a lot of wrong. And for all the homosexuals out here that have been killed in the name of a religion, all you Christians, all of you Muslims, all of you religious owe an apology from the depths of your soul. Because there are children to this very day, a little girl who's in love with another girl, but she gets beat by her mother and father and told, read the Bible. You better read that Bible. It's a little boy out here, some boy out here who's in love with another man. He can't go home because his parents will beat him. They don't welcome him. Then those who come out the closet, those who say, well, Dad, I'm just born this way. No, you're not. You're not welcome to my house. You're not welcome here. And if you let them come inside your house, then you treat them terribly. And these children or grown-ass people are committing suicide and dying. And y'all are all thinking that you in the rights for Jesus because you're in a book where the people in the book won't even follow what they're telling you to do. Y'all better wake up. I don't know why anyone would follow a wicked God like that. This God is not the loving God that is portrayed to be. When I showed you guys how Lucifer is Jesus, when I showed you guys that right there, you know, a lot of people are asking about this Old Testament God. And I find it really strange how Jesus would come and like he even told the Pharisees that the Pharisees are the ones who are the preachers, modern day preachers. They're the ones who follow the Torah. He said, the God that you serve is the devil. See, the gods that these Christians serve that say, honor thy father and mother and all this type of crap, right? The God that they serve is not the one true God. It's a demon. That's not the one true God. That's why when you look at Jesus, you know, he came and he says to these people, this God of old says an eye for an eye. And what does Jesus say? You know, forgive. Turn the other cheek. Two way different contrasts here. So I want you guys to understand something real quick. You know, you really need to check what your beliefs are in. But until then, like I said, I love you guys. It's your boy Sharon the Shaman, that 36 God. Make sure you guys leave your comments in the comments down below. I'd love to hear you guys' inputs, your thoughts on this right here. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. As well as you guys check me out Monday through Friday live on TikTok doing live tarot card readings. Other than that, man, like I said, man, love yourself, grow, meditate, and I'll see you guys next time. 36, 36, 36. You dig?